Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Less Known Classic. This is episode number 1327 and Doubleshot number 1221. I have two Spider-Man trades. These are the Avengers of Spider-Man Digest books. This first one is Sinister Intentions, which collects the first 6 issues of the series. And this one is Spectacular Foes, which collects issues 7 to 12. Now, the thing with these issues is that some of these issues are actually adaptations of some stuff we see in the actual series. Like, for instance, if you look at this episode here. Now, this never happened. This is basically set in the same universe as the 90s animated series. Now, let me talk briefly about this cover. Now, Dr. Octopus and Venom never met on the show because Venom only appeared for a few episodes. Yeah, so they have Eddie Brock in prison. And basically, it happens where in universe you have where in this book, Dr. Octopus brings him back to Earth and basically rebonds with Eddie Brock. And well, it's similar to what happens in the actual show itself, but not exactly. Of course, this comic has the debut of characters who never appeared in the show, and that is the Enforcers. Yes, the Enforcers, more just Fantasy Dan Montana and Ox. We actually have 2 other people here. Yeah, we have 5 people part of the Enforcers. And here's the thing. Their leader is not the Big Man. Oh no, Big Man Venture Crossroad does not exist. We actually have, believe it or not, we actually have the Kingpin as their boss, which is interesting. Now, this concept with the Kingpin having the Enforcers working for him, this actually is a concept they would adapt in the comic books in regular mainstream. Well, kind of in another universe, it was the Ultimate Universe where the Enforcers work for the Kingpin in that universe. Now, these books also have more appearances by Vanessa Fisk, who actually appears more than just one. In the actual series itself, she appeared for like 1 episode, and that was it. Here, it's like 2 appearances. One of them actually, where Peter talks to Detective Lee, who in the show is, I believe she was actually on Kingpin's payroll, if I'm not mistaken, where she turns against Spider-Man and later on she's arrested by the NYPD. Here, Peter informs Detective Lee of what the Kingpin's been up to, what kind of man Will Smith is, and it, well, doesn't really go into it. Of course, this is a plot thread that continues on with the kidnapping of Mary Jane Watson. And I at least gotta love the fact they actually have the Kingpin actually in his actual costume. Now, in the show, I think he did wear the same costume he wore back in the 60s. You know, the purple pants, the ascot, the white shirt, the white suit coat. Yeah, same look. Now, they do have the Vulture in here, and his appearance is mostly put in here just an adaptation of the very episode he made his debut in, where he turns to Peter old, which he did in comics as well. Now, they have a crossover here with the X-Men, which is basically just them teaming up against Mr. Sinister, who Spider-Man never fought in the show. Nope, never fought in the show. As a matter of fact, I don't think Spider-Man ever fought Mr. Sinister until like 6 years ago in the Spider-Man and X-Men miniseries. Yep. The Rhino doesn't play a big really role in here, but in the case of what we offer here, it's really good stuff. And I don't know if this book actually is longer than it did. Now, who wrote these issues, mind you? Yes. Now, for the opening trade itself, we have the issues written by Neil Yomoff, Ralph Macchino, and Michael Higgins. The art by Alex Servok, which I believe he does the art for pretty much most of the issues here, along with Mike S. Ben Hera, and Andy Kern. The cover art here, the front cover art here, this is done by John Mia Sr. He does this thing, yeah. John Mia Sr., the father of John Mia Jr., the guy who co-created the Kingpin of Crime. Now, these issues and this one here, Spectacular Foes, this one's done by the same, well, it's basically Neil Young and Glenn Greenberg with Alex on the artwork. Now, Alan Milgram, the guy who co-created Firestorm, he's here as inker. Now, the front cover here, this is not done by John Mia Sr., this is done by Alex Servok, Rob Stell, and Veronica Candy. The cover art, back cover here, this is done by Rob Stell and Alex Servok. Now, both these 2 books are really good. I thoroughly enjoy them. For stuff that's set in the animated series in the 1990s. This is really good. I kind of wish they had some similar series like this today. I get both books a 9.5 out of 10. Both really, really good, thoroughly enjoyable, and I kind of wish they brought this whole thing back. Kind of like what they did with X-Men 92, where that was set after the events of the TV show, and Spider-Man was featured in that book, but the book was canceled after like a year of publication. Yeah, surprisingly lasted for a year. And the thing was, the first volume for that series was a digital first book, published part of Secret Wars, which was later turned into an ongoing series. One of several books that was. And the other one lasted the longest of all the books that started as mini-series for Secret Wars, like an ongoing series with Old Man Logan, which I have the final trade coming really soon. Yep. But yeah, not much else to say about these two trades. Both of them really good. And, well, next review is going to be discussing, well, a DC trade and a Marvel trade, both of whom basically are spotlighted, has some issues in there. It'd be interesting to talk about, okay? But to use the next video, which is in our comment corner. Bye.